Welcome in to the Win Daily Sports NBA Playoff DFS Preview. My name is Jon Jansen. Follow me at JJansen34. Ghost is with me as well. I pointed the wrong direction. He is this way at DFS_Ghost. Apparently, and we have to talk about this. This has to be the first order here on the NBA Playoff DFS Preview show. Wednesday is not almost a Friday. Wednesday is not almost Friday.
Yes, it is.
We're just as close to Monday as we are Friday.
No, you're not, because
Yes,
you've
you
already
are.
completed 3 work days. It's past 5:30 though. Like, you've already completed 3 work days.
You're talking to the wrong person with completed work days. I just started my work day.
Well, I know you got to go on after. I was on last night with you at 8:20.
You did a great job, by the way.
Thank you.
You
I appreciate it. We saw Giannis brick free throws while we were live on air. That was fun. That was fun. That was a good time. Man, Kevin Durant. That was
You know what I gotta say about all that first? Like, because Kevin Durant, yes, that's who we're gonna talk about. But like, I kept seeing Giannis fell short. Giannis had a bleeping good game yesterday. It's just that Kevin Durant had literally one of the best NBA playoff games of all time. Like, it's just, I think Giannis was great. Like, can we just say Giannis is great without doing Bucks choked? What were they gonna do? How could he stop that?
You can't stop it when you're too scared to D him up. He didn't D him up on one possession. He's too scared.
Right.
He doesn't want that smoke. He's guarding Joe Harris.
Does he not want that smoke, or does Bud not want that smoke?
Well, Bud doesn't want that smoke. He's inhaling that smoke with the way that he's coaching. But it is what it is. Like, it's just.
Either way, I don't think you were stopping Durant.
I mean, you weren't. At the same time, you got 2 Defensive Player of the Year awards to your name, back-to-back MVPs. Put your money where your mouth is. D up Kevin Durant. That's what it is. If that was any other big-time defensive player, they want that assignment. And then he goes out in the media and says, "I want to guard Kevin Durant next game." Okay, good for you. We know who this is going to say that after he dropped 50, 17.
We know who this is up to. Like, do you think Giannis could go up to Bud and be like, "I'm guarding Durant," and Bud will be like, "Yes."
He's going up to Bud saying, "Please don't put me on Durant."
No, I don't think that's happening.
If he does that, he's going to get embarrassed on national television. That's what it is.
Kevin Durant's just the best. Like, that's the thing. Kevin Durant's just the best basketball player on earth. Like, what are you going to do? There's just nothing you can do.
Kawhi would D him up.
And Kawhi would get trashed.
Oh, stop.
Kawhi would get trashed. Give me
Kawhi in that matchup all day. Give me Kawhi in that matchup.
The way Durant was playing on that night, dude, he's going to get
give me Kawhi. He's playing like that with PJ Tucker on him.
Yeah,
I'm not taking anything away. I'm not taking anything away from his performance. It was
dude, he was hitting everything.
I know he was, but he was hitting shots over PJ Tucker.
He could hit shots over Andre the Giant, and he would still be making them.
Oh, come on.
Dude, that's
say that. Bro, he's got 2 Defensive Player of the Years, and he's
it's like Steph Curry. No matter who you put on him, sometimes he's just going to make one from the logo, and you can't do anything about that. Sometimes Kevin Durant's just a 6'11" basketball player that you can't get in front of his face because he has that kind of length, and you can't touch that shot.
How tall is he?
6'11", 6'10".
How tall is Giannis?
6'10", 6'.
And he's guarding Landry Shamet. Bro, that to me is soft. You got to put your big boy pants on with the belt.
That's a coach.
You got to walk over to your coach and say, "Hey, I'm guarding KD 1-on-1. Let's go." And he didn't want it, bro. He gladly stood there in the corner. And then multiple possessions, he had James Harden on him. You know who D'd up players like a real player?
Well, yeah.
James Harden. If you watch that one of the last possessions, I think it was 49 seconds left. People are going to say, well, Giannis didn't attack Harden, this, that. No. If you look at the play, Giannis tries to post up Harden, and he waves off the player that is coming down to support him. He said, "No, get away and go guard the perimeter." And he gets right up in Giannis's grill. That, to me, is playing defense. James Harden was just as impressive as Kevin Durant last night in a completely different way. Going from, not playing in the series
last night.
Oh, stop it. Not playing in the series. The man is destroyed, and he goes out there and plays 45 minutes.
Right. I respect.
Facilitating the game. Yeah. It's going out there. He's demanding respect. I'm telling you, it's just, that's exactly
it was
why
great that he was out there, but still, Kevin
was
Durant
amazing.
Kevin Durant was everything. Kevin Durant
absolutely
everything.
He was amazing in a completely different fashion. Seeing James Harden
because
playing
he dominated
defense
the
for
game.
the first time in who knows how long, and then on top of that, seeing playing defense on Giannis 45 minutes with on one leg. That to me is a guy that wants to win. That James Harden 3 years ago in Houston, number one, wouldn't have even played that game. And number two, there's no way he's D'ing up Giannis in the post 3 years ago. There's no chance. That to me is a guy that came to Brooklyn and he wants to win.
Sixers are beating him in the next round anyway.
That's exactly it. It doesn't matter because Philly's taking them next series anyways. But
so that means Sixers win tonight?
Yeah.
Sixers cover the 7?
It's steep. It opened at 5.5. It's steep.
There's a reason why. It's moving. Dude, this like I could see this, the classic like Philly crowd into it. Sixers just look great at home, like a 120-90 win. Like I could honestly see that.
Like, is Joel going to be able to run or like at least lightly jog? Like,
well, that's what we're going to need to find out. It's just, I think,
can he get up to the half court line before the 16-second violation? Like,
but
that's
he
my
has
main
been able to before. It's just that knee, whenever it flares up, that's the problem. But I think we have seen that he can, and there are going to be times where he can play on it and feel comfortable. But you just have to maybe wait a few minutes into the game or however long to know, okay, Joel Embiid looks like he has it today, or at least the knee's cooperating with him today.
I really like Joel Embiid tonight. I think he shows up. I think he shows up in a big way.
I do too.
You're gonna make me take the points, aren't you?
I'm not gonna make you do anything. I'm gonna convince you to take the points.
Look, I got Utah at 2.5 this morning.
Good.
Thanks to our tool.
I still took it at 7, but yes, 2.5. It's way better value, obviously. I still take it at 7.
Man.
Losing Kawhi, like Kawhi Leonard's done everything for them.
7's a lot. 7 is a lot. Like you got to think, like Kawhi's worth 5 points.
The way he's been playing this playoffs.
I agree. I'm just saying, like that. You got to think the guy's worth 5 points on a Vegas spread. That's a lot.
But now you lose Kawhi. Utah now going back home. Like it screams almost with the Sixers. It screams bounce back and big win. I just don't because the thing is, Paul George 7 is a lot. 7 is a lot. Paul George is going to shoot a lot more now, but Paul George has been so inconsistent throughout this playoffs. He could have one of those bad games, and this thing gets out of hand immediately, like quickly.
I would take Utah on the 7. That's okay. It's just Philly at 7 is a lot. It's
fine. I'm taking him. I am.
I'm not betting the first game. If I had a lean, it would be Philly.
Yeah, well, I
would buy the half point. I would take it at 6.5.
I'm confident leaning on the Sixers today. I'm confidently leaning that they are going to win by like 30 points. I'm very confident.
I will buy the half point and say 6.5. And same thing with Utah. I'll lay the 6.5. Buy the extra half point. Sweet. I always do that.
Now that we did that, now that we got that out of the way. Hey, hello, DFS. Hey, 2 games.
We got 2 games today.
2 games.
It's not a showdown.
Trae Young.
No.
Ben Simmons.
No.
Joel.
You can look. I just want to say that just like that. But you can look. You got to play this first game 2 ways.
Joel Embiid.
If you think Bede has a healthy game, like game 1 and game 2 Bede, then you got to play him. If you don't, then you got to play Ben. That's the way that I'm building my lineup in that first game. So you got to have one of the two. You just have to plant your flag and say, okay, it's going to be a rough day for Joel Embiid's knee, or it's going to be a good day for him. You got to play him.
What about Seth Curry?
I love Seth. I've been playing him almost every single game. Yeah, I do it
because it's a consistent 25 points. He's been involved a lot, and even with Danny Green out now, he's been involved. I thought he was involved a lot more with Green out, but he's just been so consistent throughout the playoffs.
I also double dipped the chip. I took his player prop at 13.5 points too.
Nice.
I like Seth tonight. I do like him. Same reason why I've always liked Seth. It's just he's just been a model of consistency for the 76ers throughout these playoffs. So. Mm-hmm. I do like Seth there. I'm not playing Simmons and Bede together. There's no chance. You got to play one or the other. Do you think Philly blows out Atlanta?
But that's the thing. Like we do think the Sixers will be at home and bounce back. The only thing you have to really be concerned about just isn't he going to cooperate for Embiid today?
So
it's really the biggest question.
In game 1, the Sixers were down by 20 with 8 minutes and 17 seconds left, and Embiid checked back in. So no, I'm not worried that if it goes to a blowout, that Embiid sits.
Right. Oh yeah.
Their team is like no disrespect. The team's not good enough to have Embiid.
But if they're blowing Atlanta out, that means Joel Embiid probably had 40 points.
Well, that's exactly it. If they're winning by 30, it's because Embiid already has 50 and 10.
Right. Yeah.
Because no one else is doing that.
Right.
Tobias is not dropping 40. Like it's not to the point where they're up by 30 heading into the fourth. Like it's just not a thing. So if they're up by 30, it's because Embiid already has 65 plus DK and he's leading the slate in scoring.
Now, I know a lot of what we're going to get for today and tonight is from this team specifically, the Clippers. But
a lot.
It really will be. But the only one I want to go back to, just not put it in a lineups, but just ask about, because I know we talked about Korkmaz a bit and Milton. Are we going back to that? Like, what did you see from how Doc used them? Obviously, Korkmaz had a great night shooting. Even Shake late in that game did well. But what did you see then with the rotation that makes you think, all right, do I have to play this differently, or how are you going to play it?
I'm playing it the exact same way. The only reason why Shake didn't get as many minutes as he was expected to is because it was a way tighter game than was expected. You know, as Philly blew a massive lead. That's all there was to tell, really. Like, it's just if they had kept that lead, Shake would have been in the game longer to close out the third and start the fourth. But it's just he didn't get that run in the second half because of the fact that, you know, they shot 0 for 12 and they lost that lead. It's that simple, right? So I don't really feel the need to change something. If it ain't broke, then I'm going right back to the well there. Shake is definitely a little bit riskier than Cork. I did like what I saw from Cork. He did exactly what we said he would do. He's right into the corner. He's banging threes. Yep. It's exactly what he's going to do, and he does it way better than Danny Green does. So Ben's going to push the pace. Cork's got to keep up, run to the corner, bang the three, get back, be within like 5 feet of somebody to make it look like you're playing defense. That's it. That's all he's got to do.
That's it. That's what Doc literally told him.
25 minutes. He did that for 25 minutes. So at 3,800, the price has definitely increased a little bit.
Yes.
Enough for me to, question whether he's going to be in my lineup. Last time it was just automatic. He was the stone cold minimum. There was no way I was not playing him. But at 38, you could kind of work things around where you don't necessarily need him, but you shouldn't feel bad about having him in your lineup either. And same thing with Shake, The one thing with Shake is that at 3K, you're like, okay, well, he's a stone cold minimum. I could end up taking that. Well, you also have Terrence Mann and Luke Kennard and Patrick Beverley in the second game with a much more depleted Clippers roster now that Kawhi is out. Even though it's only one guy, that's a ton of minutes to go around. So
it's a ton of scoring to go around. Ton of shots. Yeah,
there's a lot. So that's where it's, again, you got to end up seeing if you want to play 3K Shake Milton or if you want to go to that Clippers game.
So immediately, let's just look at this and where. There's a ton. Where are we going? Because I'm not even going to highlight Utah. I bet there is somebody we can get in from Utah. I'm sure. But I think mostly this Clippers team is where we're going to find a lot of value.
Yeah, so the first thing that I did was really just, put these players into groups, if anything. So you have the two scorers, and that's Reggie Jackson and Luke Kennard. So right away, I was like, okay, I don't want to play both these guys together. Because with Reggie starting, the starting four should be the same between Jackson, Batum, Morris, and Paul George. You just don't know if the fifth is going to be Patrick Beverley, Terrence Mann, Luke Kennard, or Zubac. As I really hope it's not Zubac. If it is, then okay, it's going to be a long night. But that you just have to know that fifth guy. And for me, I'm really waiting for that starting lineup to end up seeing how it plays out. And I'll give a couple scenarios, but before I get into that, it's really grouping these players together. So I don't want to play two players from the same group other than the forward group. So for me, it's the scorers. It's Reggie Jackson, Luke Kennard. How are these guys paying off tonight? You get a good game from Luke Kennard. It's because he's scoring. Well, that means Reggie Jackson isn't scoring. Because if both those guys are scoring, you're telling me Paul George isn't scoring? No. So you can't be playing both those guys. If it falls that way, easy pivot from Reggie Jackson is Seth Curry for me. So, or if you're not comfortable with Kennard, you have Terrence Mann and Patrick Beverley, which is that second group, which is the backup guards. So again, assuming that it's Zubac or one of these guys starting, Bev is going to be out there for defensive responsibility. My one concern about Bev is that when the Clippers get down in this game, Patrick Beverley doesn't really have a role anymore. So that's where, again, you have to play a scenario where if you're playing Patrick Beverley, it's because the Clippers are up. So then what else do you need in that? You need defensive guys, you need Nick Batum, and you need Patrick Beverley. Because those are two guys that if the Clippers get a lead, those are two guys that are going to be out there closing out the game. You know that for a fact.
Yep.
So those are two guys that I don't mind pairing together. But if you flip the script and go the way that I think it's going to go, where the Clippers are chasing points and they need some offense, Terrence Mann is going to see more minutes than Patrick Beverley tonight. He provides them with that secondary ball handling ability where they can take the ball out of Paul George's hands, similarly what Brooklyn did last night with Kevin Durant. You know, James Harden had the ball. Everybody knew it was going to Kevin Durant. Everyone knows the ball tonight is going to Paul George. But just the fact that he's able to play both on ball and off ball, it'll keep the defense on their toes, right? It'll allow for LA to get a ton of different looks and find open space for PG. That's the recipe for success tonight. If they want to come away with this game, it's finding open space for Paul George. So they got to play him on ball. They got to play him off the ball. Terrence Mann is that guy that needs to be the ball handler when he's not out there. If we get a magical Rajon Rondo sighting, so be it. I'm okay to live and die with that. I don't foresee Rondo really re-entering the rotation right now. So the way that Terrence Mann is playing, leading the team in plus minus, he's over plus 50 in the series. Like, they are blowing out Utah when Terrence Mann is on the court. I really do think that we end up seeing a bit more of Terrence Mann. They're chasing points. You're going to see Luke Kennard. Again, you have to end up really splitting which way is this game going to go. If they're chasing points, you need the offensive weapons. If they're in a tight lead, you know it's going to be Patrick Beverley out there. And then you play one or both of Nick Batum and Marcus Morris. The one thing that I wrote up about Marcus Morris is that you need this guy to get hot from deep.
Yeah.
Is that a guy that I want to count on to get hot from deep? Marcus Morris? Like, his rebounding has been mediocre at best throughout the series. He's not really contributing offensively outside of banging home threes. I don't know. For a guy that's going to be the second, third highest owned player on the slate, give me the safety in Nick Batum. We know he plays minutes at the 4. He plays minutes at the 5. Whether they're up in the game or down in the game, Nick Batum is going to be out there. Marcus Morris can get into foul trouble. He can not get hot from deep. And then all of a sudden, Morris isn't contributing to your DFS lineup tonight. So I lean Batum over Morris. And then you got to figure out that quartet of guards where are they chasing points? You're playing that scenario. Or are they ahead and you're playing that scenario?
How do you feel about Mann and Kennard together? And just as you look, I was just putting names together, and it does end up being 4 Clippers, and we do have a lot of their, guard scorers. So how do you think Mann and Kennard are going to go together? And I know, things are going to shake out. You got to be really conscious of how you're kind of combining all of these Clippers players together.
So I'm not saying it's completely impossible for them to end up closing out quarters or closing out the game together. But then you got to think who sits out between Reggie Jackson, Nick Batum, and Marcus Morris. Like, one of those guys has to sit out if both Mann and Kennard are on the court. Mm-hmm. So you got to think, does Reggie have that bad of a game that he's not even closing out the game? If he's having a bad game, would they even take him out still? Would Ty Lue have, would Ty Lue have the confidence to be able to take out Reggie Jackson and go with Mann and Kennard? I don't know. That's the only thing. So I'm not completely opposed to it. I think both of them get theirs. But again, I really need that starting lineup. I want Luke Kennard coming off the bench. Luke Kennard is going to be probably a lock in my lineup if he's coming off the bench. Yeah. If he's starting, I'm still likely to play him, but I'm going to have to think twice about it because I don't want him alongside Reggie Jackson and Marcus. Like, all these guys are going to get more looks than Luke Kennard. That's the only thing. So I want him coming off the bench where Reggie's coming off the court. That's the main switch for me. I want Reggie coming off the court. I want the ball in Paul George's hands, and I want Luke Kennard running the 2. That, for me, is an ideal situation. Luke Kennard is set up for success in that way. So if he's not starting, that's the guy I'm going with.
WinDailySports.com, NBA playoff preview show, NBA playoff DFS preview show. And, I mean, just looking at this lineup here, a little bit of because I haven't seen any lineups yet, so we'll just do this lineup here. What would you change? What would you move around for this one?
Not much. We'll leave it at that. Not much.
What do you mean we'll leave it at that?
It's you don't need to change much in that lineup. You don't need to change much.
Is this close to your main lineup?
Yeah, no, we're not. We can't make changes because then I'm gonna give it away. So we'll leave it like this. You can easily fit. You can easily fit. Well, yeah, because you read the article. See, this is exactly. This is proof to anybody listening that if you read it, you can build the lineup and get as close as possible to my lineup.
And
right? So,
keep the projection model up, keep the cheat sheet up, all of that to help you build.
So,
listen to this show, be in the Discord chat all over at windailysports.com.
So this is a spot where, I don't want to say you can easily do it because you still need Luke Kennard, Terrence Mann, Patrick Beverley,
right?
Jake Milton, Cork, any one of these sub 4K guys, Dwight Howard. You need these guys to still pan out, right? You can't have complete duds and win the tournament from those guys. But again, if you get Luke Kennard and Terrence Mann showing out, you have the slate's 3 highest scorers right there in your lineup. You have Joel Embiid, you have Donovan Mitchell, you have Paul George.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really tough to compete with, and you're not surrounding them with guys that you're not surrounding them with a Derek Favors. You're not surrounding them with like someone that's going to play 5 to 10 minutes. You're surrounding them with guys that. Luke Kennard's going to get 20 plus minutes tonight. Terrence Mann, if he plays the way that he's been playing throughout the series, he could have an off day. That's sports. He can have an off day and then all of a sudden he goes down to 10 minutes. But the way that he's been playing in this series through 4 games, there's no reason for Ty Lue not to give Terrence Mann 20 minutes tonight.
This is the attitude right here. Takedown day, boys and girls. That's right. Sir. It's takedown day. So I don't see any lineups anyone's given us yet. If you want to, we'll be off in a few minutes. So just let us know. And then if not, Ghost will be in the Discord chat. But yeah, these 2 games tonight, we talked a little bit about the sports betting side of things, but I know you also have props that you usually do. Would you like to give the folks 1 or 2 or none, or just go over to windailysports.com, check out the sports betting page? Anything with the sports betting side.
I would say just go check it out, but I'm a man of the people.
You're a man of the people.
I will give out 1. Let me check to see which one I'm going to give out. Let's check. We are going to give out. I don't know if the line moved, but I had Paul George at 25.5 points on William Hill.
Under, right?
There's a better chance that I say a good thing about Chris Middleton's game than I would.
Man, I like this guy. Who is this guy?
Under. Sixers win tonight and ended on Friday.
I love this guy. This is it. This is my guy.
Embiid is going to show out tonight. Joel Embiid's going to show up tonight.
Yeah, I think so. I do.
Joel Embiid's going to show up tonight. I'm telling you, he feels good tonight. Ingles all the way.
It's a good question. Ingles?
Ingles all the way.
Is that the one switch that you would have made in my lineup?
No.
Okay. But Bogdanovich, is he worth a look, or is it just really?
He really is, because he's going to play 35 minutes again tonight. Right. Just again. That's a pure scorer playing alongside Donovan Mitchell. That's self-explanatory at that point. You need Joe Ingles out there, and I really hope, really hope that they don't play Jordan Clarkson 34 minutes tonight and Joe Ingles 30 again. That needs to be reversed. Joe Ingles needs to be out there for 35 minutes.
Okay.
If that happens, they win this game by 15. If Jordan Clarkson's out there throwing up bricks again, it's going to be tighter than expected.
Like it.
Donovan Mitchell drops 40 tonight.
Yeah, I actually heard a person I respect and giving out sports betting picks said under for Trae Young. What about him for DFS? Just anything, betting DFS? Because he's a weird case. Because, he had a solid game, but he was also 8 for 26. It's not like he's been completely dominant, but the problem is he just puts up a ton of shots. And so you're trying to balance. He's not playing well versus the fact that he is putting up just a bunch of shots.
So the main reason why I liked him last game is because I saw something in his game towards the end of the third one that Philly hadn't seen yet. And that was him distributing the ball way more than anticipated. And so that's why I thought in game 4, and then he got 18 assists in that game. He's shown his entire playbook now. Now you have 4 games of film for Ben Simmons to put the clamps on you. He's seen you distribute. He's seen you on the pick and roll. He's seen the way that you get to the rim. Like it's I'm not paying 9,900 for Trae Young tonight. I can't do it. The one and only way for me to get him in my lineup would be playing Trae Young over Embiid.
Well, because in order for that to
and
pay
that
off,
for me just doesn't work.
You would need his assist to be up like it was. And
well, you would. I'm not saying you would need 18 to 20 again. Like you wouldn't need a duplicate 18-point performance. I think he shoots better tonight, but again, I don't know. You're on the road. I'd much rather Trae Young in the A. Like in Game 6, it's going to be tough for me to get away from Trae Young. I'll tell you that right now. 48 hours in advance. I'll tell you that right now.
Trae Young, yeah, absolutely.
It's going to be win or go home because Philly's winning tonight. It's going to be win or go home in the A. That's going to be. It's a different scenario there. But right now, I don't know. Like the main reason amongst everything that I was just talking about was that I can't fit Trae Young in my lineup unless I come off Joel Embiid because I'm not fading Donovan Mitchell. I'm not fading Paul George.
Yeah.
So that's where, as my third stud, am I going Trae Young or Joel Embiid? Give me the person that finished third in NBA MVP voting and was on the second All-NBA team behind none other than the NBA MVP.
It's messed up.
Just saying, it's a little motivation for him.
Yeah.
Philly newspapers.
Ben's gonna have a big
All-NBA team.
Who's
gonna have a big game?
Ben Simmons.
He's gonna have a big game.
Yeah. This happens all the time.
B drops 35 and 13.
B drops 35 and 13. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
35
I agree with that. Yeah, that sounds about right.
35 and 13. Mitchell drops 40.
Ben Simmons gets a triple-double.
Last time I said yes, it actually happened. So does Ben Simmons get a triple-double tonight?
He was really close to it, obviously, last game. And then the second half.
Does Ben Simmons get a triple-double tonight? I'm going to say he falls short in the rebound category. He's going to fall short in rebounds.
I think he falls short.
I think he falls short in rebounds. But B drops 35 and 13.
I agree.
Donovan Mitchell drops 45 and 5.
I agree. Absolutely. Donovan Mitchell's going to have a huge game, isn't he? Just completely huge game.
And Luke Kennard shoots lights out from behind the arc.
Yes, that's where we end it. WinDailySports.com NBA playoff DFS preview show. My name is Jon Jansen at JJansen34. My guy Ghost. Ghost, we'll do this tomorrow, man. And we'll be talking about a Sixers win tomorrow. How about that?
That sounds great. That sounds like a plan. After B drops 35 and 13.
After he drops 35 and 13. WinDailySports.